And gentlemen, welcome to the combined agenda regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council on this date of September 3rd, 2025. I'd like to call the agenda session to order, and would you all please rise to honor our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Charles DePiero. Councilman Michael Markell.
Here.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel.
Here.
Council Vice President Terrence Van Zora.
Here.
Council President Miriam Cohen.
Here. Would you please read the Sunshine Law into the record?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1. Posted on the bulletin board within the municipal building on December 27, 2024, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2. Printed in the Home News Tribune and the Cranberry Press on December 27, 2024. 3. Posted on the Monroe Township website. And 4. Sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the Council President.
Thank you. Next, we move to some presentations this evening. And first on our list is our Monroe Township Police Department accreditation certificate presentation, which will be presented by Mr. Harry Delgado, New Jersey Association of Chiefs of Police. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Council President.
My pleasure.
And
My pleasure.
I'm leaving my bag here for a couple of minutes.
It is fine.
All right. So I come here to celebrate, or actually to recognize your police department tonight. And it's quite an occasion because I understand that they're going to sworn, that 4 officers are going to be sworn in today. And they should know that they're actually going to be part of an accredited agency in the state of New Jersey. And so to add context to what I'm about to say in the next 2 minutes, is there's over 600 agencies, law enforcement agencies in the state of New Jersey that would be eligible to apply for accreditation in the state of New Jersey. And that includes prosecutor's office, local law enforcement, sheriff's office, prosecutor's office, as I mentioned before, colleges and universities. And out of those, okay, only 54% of them are maybe successfully to what it is a very rigorous process. The Monroe Township Police Department now has become one of those. So if you indulge me for 2 minutes, I'd like to share with you the significance of the achievement. So the Monroe Township Police Department has made a commitment to adhering to best practices at the state and national level in a highly regarded statewide law enforcement accreditation program. This program, administered to the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, has helped to transparently demonstrate the professionalism, transparency, and preparedness of state law enforcement agencies in the state's public safety system. Now, during these uniquely challenging times and a threat to health and safety, encouraging law enforcement agencies to follow practices and policies, standardized practices and policies, is potentially a life-saving and cost-effective investment of time and resources. Accreditation status represents a significant professional achievement, all of which all those that are going to swear in today, as well as those that are present here today, should be very proud of. This prestigious accredited status demonstrates Chief Griffin Banos' firm commitment to state and national standards and the continued expectations for quality, professional, and ethical policing. Now, accreditation provides objective evidence of an agency's commitment to excellence in leadership, resource management, and service delivery. Government officials can be more confident in the agency's ability to operate efficiently and meet community needs. And officers in accredited agencies can take pride that they have been objectively recognized for their professionalism and adherence to the highest standards in the nation. Now, out of that report, after the rigorous process, we actually come to the site and we make sure that the agency proves compliance with over 112 standards in the state of New Jersey that required over 400 items of proof of adherence. Out of that report that is generated, and I have the privilege of making a recommendation to either accredit it to the commission or not. In this case, obviously, it was a positive, recommendation. I'm going to paraphrase for you some of what was said by the assessors. Under Chief Banos' leadership, whether future issues involving a steady increase in population in Monroe Township, the staff increases to meet that level of service, or budgetary constraints as many of us face, this agency continues to assertively move forward with a commitment to following best practices with a preparedness plan and a verification of excellence. Now, another thing that we find, typically there's one or two things that we might find, and we actually try to clear while we come here. In the case of the Monroe Township Police Department, there was not a single issue that we had to actually look into or question, so therefore they had what we call a remarkable final assessment. So it is the opinion of the assessment team that the Monroe Township Police Department is a highly professional and committed agency which exemplifies all the tenets of law enforcement accreditation at the state and national level. So therefore, it is indeed my honor here tonight, on behalf of the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Commission, to congratulate Chief Griffin Banos, Accreditation Captain Leanne Solomons, the members of the Monroe Township Police Department, many which I see here tonight, the mayor, council president, and those citizens that they so proudly serve for achieving their state accreditation, joining a very exclusive group of law enforcement agencies that have made this important commitment to excellence in policing. So to all, indeed, congratulations. This is where you get the clap.
Thank you very much, Chief. I understand we are swearing in new police officers tonight. A few brief words, of course.
I'd just like to say thank you to New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police, Harry Delgado, for getting us through this. It wasn't an easy task. My entire police department had something to do with it. My accreditation manager, Leanne Solomon, she was instrumental in getting this done and getting it done fast. I spoke to other chiefs around the state, and in speaking to them, I've realized that we've gotten it done faster than most. So that's a testament to my employees and my accreditation managers. Thank you very much.
Please proceed.
All right. This is actually one of the fun things that a chief gets to do, swear some people in. So I have 4 officers that started recently with us, bringing our total up to, I believe, 73 officers. So this is huge, and I thank the council and the mayor for giving us our additions. It's noted, it's noticed at the PD, and we thank you for that. So first, we're going to go in badge order. So Officer Francie Bueno, please come forward. Officer Bueno grew up in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and graduated from New Brunswick High School in 2012. He was hired by the New Jersey State Corrections and began his career as a corrections guard in 2018, working in Trenton State Prison. In 2023, Officer Bueno was hired by the Perth Amboy Police Department, and upon completion of the Cape May Police Academy, he began working as a patrol officer in Perth Amboy until we stole him and brought him here, April this year. Second one we stole from them. With Officer Bueno today are his mother, Dorilla Peralta, his father, Jose Bueno, and his girlfriend, Christy Nunez. Holding the Bible for Officer Bueno will be his mother, Dorilla, and his girlfriend, Christy. If they could please come forward.
I, please state your name,
I, Francie Bueno,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the government established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of police officer for the Monroe Township Police Department
all the duties of a police officer of the Monroe Township Police Department,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Stay there.
Officer Laporta,
God, there you are.
Officer Joseph Laporta is a 2020 graduate of Colts Neck High School and a 2004 graduate of Stockton University, where he earned his degree in criminal justice. Officer Laporta attended the Monmouth County Police Academy, where he graduated in May of 2025 and has been working for us since. Prior to joining our force, Officer Laporta worked as a Class 1 officer for the Bradley Beach Police Department. Here with Officer Laporta today is his father, Thomas Laporta Sr., his mother, Ann Laporta, and his sister, Gabrielle Laporta, and niece, Ava Werga. His father, Thomas, will be holding the Bible for him.
Right hand up, left hand on the Bible. Repeat after me. I, please state your name,
I, Joseph Laporta,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of police officer for the Monroe Township Police Department
all the duties of a police officer for the Monroe Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Officer Skochilis. Officer Sebastian Skochilis grew up in Hillsborough, New Jersey, where he graduated from Hillsborough High School in 2022. He then attended Raritan Valley Community College, earning his associates in automotive technology in 2024. Officer Skochilis attended the Cape May Police Academy as an alternate route recruit and was hired by Monroe Township on June 1st, graduating the academy a few weeks later. With Officer Skochilis tonight is his father, Marcin, his mother, Carolina, his sister, Patricia. Holding the Bible for Officer Skochilis tonight is his mother, Carolina.
Right hand up, left hand on the Bible. Repeat after me. I, please state your name,
I, Sebastian Skochilis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of police officer for the Monroe Township Police Department
all the duties of police officer for the Monroe Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Officer Michael Smith. Much easier name to pronounce. Officer Michael Smith grew up in Edison, New Jersey, where he graduated from Edison High School in 2019. Officer Smith then attended Middlesex County College, where he graduated an associate's degree in criminal justice in 2022. Officer Smith entered the Atlantic County Police Academy in February of 25 as an alternate route recruit. He was hired by us July 1st and graduated the academy a few weeks later. While in the academy, Officer Smith won the Don Soder First Aid Award. With Officer Smith tonight is his mother, Karen Barton, and his father, Robert Smith. Holding the Bible for Officer Smith tonight is his mother, Karen.
I, please state your name,
I, Michael Smith,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of police officer for the Monroe Township Police Department
all the duties of police officer for the Monroe Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
We will have audience picture taking in a few minutes. We have some agenda items that we need to go through. And one of them is always my honor and privilege to introduce our mayor, Stephen Delina, who will be presenting a plaque to our retired library director, Leah Wagner.
First, this is impressive. So impressive, Chief, I think we're going to have to put an addition on the new addition. Again, congratulations, Chief, and obviously to the officers to put this accreditation together. The monumental task to be recognized is truly awe-inspiring. Just so thank you so very much, and obviously to our new family members here. Godspeed on the roads, and just know to the family members here that thank you for sharing your most beloved family member with us. I assure you we will treat them with the respect, love, and understanding as a family member of part of Monroe Township. They will keep us safe, and I assure you we will keep them safe. So thank you so very much. So with that being said, time to wax poetic about a very special person here in Monroe Township, Leah Wagner, recently retired, director of our library. And Leah, just a couple things here. I did not get the opportunity to espouse my love to you at your retirement event, so you'll have to indulge me a wee bit with everyone else here. And please note, I am again wearing my library tie. Okay, we still haven't coordinated yet. You haven't worn your scarf, but we still got some time. So Leah, it says 36 years. 36 years. That's crazy. Thank you. But there's a lot of people here, Leah. But right now, it's me and you. Okay? I want to say something as the mayor. I want to say something as a former coworker. For those of you who may not know, when I first moved to Monroe Township in 1998, I used to work in the library. I have a master's in library information science. Yeah, I'm a dorky guy. Yeah. So, but I had the document that I could work in the library, and Leah and I worked together. So mayor, coworker, but most importantly, Leah, I talk to you right now as a friend. Yeah, the mayor thing. Yeah, oh, you did a great job. As Terry Van Zura, Councilman Van Zura always says, I never heard anything bad about you, so you must have been good. But we know it's more than that. Your level of professionalism that you brought to our library was at the highest peak. And seeing what you were able to do for your staff, but most importantly, for all of the citizens that always talk about that crown jewel of Monroe Township, that library. And it's you. And we always talk about, oh, it's a beautiful building, but we all know it's the people that work there. And to have a director like you lead that staff, it's wild, wild. Co-worker, I never got in trouble. So I guess I did a good job as a coworker. So I hope you enjoyed your time with me and chatting, but more as a friend now, Leah. Knowing each other as friends, your family. Hannah, your daughter. I drove her home from her SATs, and I think I may have driven her there, which maybe even helped her do so good on the SATs. So I'll take a little credit. Your son David, playing on the same soccer field as my son. So spending time with you, and obviously there's Ron. I got to spend time with Ron as well. So that level of friendship, being a co-worker with you, but more importantly, as the proud mayor of Monroe Township, I just want to say thank you so much. And there's always a happy and sad in regards to when somebody leaves, but there's nothing but happy. And again, this is because of that friendship, because I know, Leo, what's ahead, and it's all about you and that zest for life. It is the same zest that you used for your life to be the director, but that zest for life, Leah, the world is waiting for you. Enjoy it. So with that being said, I ask Leah Wagner to come on up. And I shall read this plaque presented to Leah Wagner in recognition of 36 years of outstanding service and director since 2019. Did I get that correct? No.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yep, okay. Well, that's what it says here, so I'm done. Wow, I tell you, she's 2 months off the job and her mind's going already. That's a good place to be.
I was going to say, it's supposed to be.
So anyhow, wishing you the best on your new adventure, and we should put an S on there because it's adventurous, with much respect and gratitude. Enjoy the next chapter. Mayor Stephen DeLina, the Monroe Township Council, and your last day was July 31st, 2025. Thank you so much, Leah. Okay, it's all you. It's all yours. It's all
I'm going to take this off because usually when they do this, first I'm too short. They're over there, and I had it all planned that I'd be standing over there. Okay, I promise I won't take too long. It's almost 7 o'clock. So yes, it's true. It was 36 years. And the mayor may think that that's wild, but I think that's wild. So I have just a few thank yous that I'd like to do. I was hired as the children's librarian in 1989 when there was no library. And it was my job and the director's job to begin library service here in Monroe Township, right here in this building in the basement. And it was a tiny little space, but we were able to do an awful lot. When I started that path, I had absolutely no idea what direction my life was going to take. And over the last 36 years, it's been absolutely amazing. It is wild, as the mayor would say. I could not imagine that I was going to not only develop library service for the town of Monroe Township, we would build a building, we would add to that building to give you the building that you have today. We would start bookmobile service, one of the things I am most proud of. The people I would meet through volunteers, through staff. I had no idea what was in store for me, and I feel so blessed to have had all of what has happened those 36 years. All of that has contributed to the amazing Monroe Township Library that everyone uses today. So, my thank yous. I'm going to excuse my back for a minute because it's for them. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I cannot thank you for all that you have supported us over the past years and recognizing the value of the Monroe Library to the community. You have made my job much easier. To the Board of Trustees, we have a library Board of Trustees that meets monthly. They are the policymakers for the library. I have known them. We have one member that has been there as long as I have been. And it is that group that has supported me and my staff as we moved forward to create service here at the library. To my staff, they are the best. I would like to hope that we had a great time. I miss the laughter. That's what I miss the most. But they are the best. They were always willing to go along with some idea that we had, and they would do it, and they do it so we could be successful. So I cannot thank them enough, and I hope they know that. To the Friends of the Library and the Foundation of the Library, they were always there to support the library and the staff and to make sure that we met our mission and we were able to provide the best service to the township residents, and that is what we do. And then lastly, of course, I should thank the family, which you may have noticed is not here today. You know, back to school and work and grandchildren, you know, it takes over. But I cannot thank them, and they know what I was going to say. I had told them. I cannot thank them enough. They came to programs when I needed to kind of have an audience, and I needed to make sure there were people there. They helped when I needed help. If there was something happening at the library and I needed extra hands, I could count on them. And all of that made it so much easier for me as their mom to be at the library for all of those years. So, thank you, Council and Mayor. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Board. We move forward now. I look forward to everything that the township does and the library does in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leah. We have 3 proclamations this month. It is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in September. It is the Township of Monroe Senior Center Month in September. And additionally, Alvera Grossel's 100th birthday celebration. So these are all wonderful things to be aware of. But we would like to take a 5-minute recess so you can take pictures. And then we will We will proceed with the ordinances for second reading. Would the clerk please read the ordinance 08-2025-019?
Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of North Disbrow Hill Road for use as open space in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,635,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,509,500 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof. Ordinance 08-2025-020. Ordinance to acquire by negotiated agreement and donation real property known and designated as Tax Block 2, Lot 1, and Block 3, Lot 25, on the official tax map of the Township of Monroe, Middlesex County, New Jersey, located off North Disborough Hill Road for open space and recreation purposes. Ordinance 08-2025-021. Ordinance amending Chapter 108, Article 6, Zoning District Regulations, rezoning of Highway Development District along Butcher Road.
Council President, may I be heard on this ordinance
Yes,
just for a
please.
moment? So, I'm actually going to ask the council to table this particular ordinance until next month. There are certain notice requirements under the MLUL for any zoning district changes, and I just want to confirm that we've fulfilled those notice requirements to ensure that this ordinance gets adopted properly without any question as to the legality of it.
May I ask a member of the council to please propose tabling this ordinance, please?
I would move for the tabling of the ordinance.
May I have a second on that?
Second.
May I have a roll call vote to table, please?
And I just want to make clear, it's actually a motion to table it to our next council meeting, which the date of which, Madam Clerk, is?
The next meeting is October 6th.
Correct. And there'll be a new public notice done.
You and I right here at all.
We're in the agenda.
No, I understand. I
Still
understand.
need to go back.
That's okay.
Right.
We're removing it from the agenda.
Okay.
We are, right?
No, yeah. No, this is an appropriate place to do it.
Okey dokey. You should do a roll call vote on this, please, to
Yes, please.
confirm. Yes, please.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Banzora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Madam Council President?
Yes,
Again,
sir.
just for the benefit of the public, just could you please confirm what ordinance was?
We just tabled ordinance 08-2025.
021.
021.
021. Okay,
You
just
want me
wanted to make
reread
sure.
it, please?
The public hearing and adoption will be tabled to October 6th.
You know, just no
Yes,
need
sir.
to be read. However, I did want to just make a couple of comments
Please do.
regarding to the
Please do.
the body of the three ordinances here. On the agenda, these ordinances are a series of high-level measures designed to accomplish certain planning goals here in the Monroe Township for the next decade and beyond. So this is larger vision here. There are a number of moving parts, as seen here on the agenda, which will play out over the next few months here at the council, as well as our planning board. But as mayor, I just wanted to just give a brief synopsis of what we're trying to accomplish here, and share my thoughts with you in regards to the ordinances tonight and the positive steps that we're taking to reduce the impact of the affordable housing obligations and the benefits to our residents. First, we're preventing a warehouse at the corner of two residential streets that is incompatible where a warehouse development should be, providing relief to those residents who came out en masse at our planning board. Two, we're reducing the number of court-ordered family housing units by 479 and converting another 350 family units to senior units, reducing the potential impact to our schools by 829 homes. This is significant. Three, we've also negotiated for beneficial tax ratables where warehouse space is directly on Route 33, where it belongs, where it was originally should have been, which will help our tax base immensely. These efforts additionally will also preserve over 200 acres of open space and allow for a park on Disborough Hill Road. There are certainly many other challenges that affordable housing brings to many of the municipalities, not germane here to Monroe Township, but all the municipalities in our state. But obviously, our focus needs to be on affordability and the quality of life for our residents. And I thank you so much for the opportunity just to
Appreciate the clarification and the information, sir. We would like to move to ordinances for introduction. Item 7 on the agenda, please.
Ordinance 09-2025-022, Energy Savings Obligation Refunding Bond Ordinance of the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition, construction, and installation of energy conservation improvements in connection with an energy-saving improvement program of the township, appropriating $11,500,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $11,500,000 energy savings obligation refunding bonds to provide for a portion of the cost of such improvements. Ordinance 09-2025-023. Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition, construction, and installation of energy conservation improvements in connection with an energy savings improvement program in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $4,600,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4,380,000 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. Item 8 are the resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the regular meeting. That's R9 2025-171 through R9 2025-190. All council members have had an opportunity to review. Are there any resolutions that you would like removed from the consent agenda? Then we move to item 9, public comment section, limited to agenda items only, 5 minutes per speaker. May I have a motion to open public comments?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposition. Anyone wishing to address the council, please come forward now, stating your name and address for our records.
Gary Busman, 7 Monarch Road. I want to commend the council, and particularly the mayor, for the explanation he just gave for the addition of the open space, and particularly as a member of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, I want to thank you all for approving the park that is completely necessary in the southern part of town. There are no parks. There will be one probably starting construction near the garden or within the garden site on Applegarth Road, probably this spring. But beyond that, now we're going to have a full-size park. So I thank you for that consideration, and it is a tremendous benefit to the residents of Monroe Township. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening, Council President.
Good evening, George.
I have a number of items, so I'd like to go through them so I can stay within my 5 minutes, if you don't mind.
Right along.
Okay. Item 7, which is the having to do with the installation of solar stuff. There are 2 items under number 7, 22 and 23. One calls for refunding bonds, and the other just calls them bonds. I'm not clear as to what the difference is, and I'm not clear as to how those finances are going to work. No mention of a bond period. I'd like to know what the bond period is. Moving on to the consent agenda, item 179, 180, 181, and 182. Appurtenances. If you use the dictionary, it won't help you.
Appurtenances?
Yeah.
Appurtenances.
Do you know what they are?
Appurtenances.
Nor do I.
Parts of things, appurtenances.
Appurtenances.
Right,
Okay.
parts of things, right, that go
Things
along with
attached
it.
to land.
Yes.
Things attached to land.
Things attached to land,
Correct.
not to water and sewer. Anyway, I want to know what they are. I want to know how many of them there are, and I want to know what the unit price is that's discussed here. I have a sneaking feeling that we're talking about manholes, but we'll find out. Moving on to item 185 under the consent agenda. What are these capital improvements that are being covered by this? I think it calls it it refers to it as a down payment. What is the total value, not the down payment? What is the total value, and what are these capital improvements that we're funding? And then number 186, I believe we talked about this a little bit in an earlier meeting, but it didn't seem to have any impact. I'm still curious as to why the town does not go after the E&O errors and omissions from the contractor that we used to do the survey work to identify if there were problems with that site. The cost of that is included in our payment to them. They don't finance it out of their own pockets. Why wouldn't we be able to collect on that? Why would we have to turn around and pick up all the new overages and extras for work on the environmental cleanup when we paid someone to do a survey? And I'd like to have some kind of a response to that. And that's all I have.
That's all you have. Should we begin with you?
Sure, Council President, I'll take it a little bit out of order, if that's okay, and I'll allow Joe to talk more about the water sewer aspect of it. So the two bonds that are in for introduction, the two bond ordinances for introduction tonight, are both related to our solar ESIP project. One of them, as you point out, is a refunding bond. The other is what's called a general obligation bond. So as the presentation from our solar consultants talked about last month, this project, $15 or $16 million in its totality, is budget neutral in that the savings that we receive from putting solar at various facilities, reducing our electrical costs, and qualifying if we get this approved before the end of the year, qualifying for a $3.5 million federal tax incentive. All of that compounds to make this a budget neutral project where no additional taxpayer funds are expended. The refunding bond specifically does not require a down payment because the revenue generated from the electric savings is paying for the bond costs themselves. It's my understanding that there is a statutory limit on how much you can include in that refunding bond based on the ESIP laws. And when this comes back for adoption in November, we'll do another, our solar consultants will be here to do another explanation of that as well. So we had to add another general obligation bond that does require, as you pointed out, the Resolution 185, the $225,000 down payment. At the end of that, the cash flow analysis is that we still end up in the positive over the 20-year life of the solar panels and these solar projects, where we're not expending any additional taxpayer funds. Sorry. And the change order for Garvey's at 186.
Bond period.
20 years.
Okay.
The change order for Garvey's for the underground oil tanks that were discovered. So we didn't know what that cost was going to be until the work was completed, which it has been now. And now that we have those final costs, the subject of this change order tonight, we can put in the appropriate insurance claim to try and recoup those funds.
So that was an open-ended contract? It wasn't a fixed price? You didn't bid it?
We had a demolition contract that was bid. This issue came up. There was no way to know right away what the cost was going to be to remove the tanks and remediate the site, and now we have that. So we're here for that change order, and we'll put in the, as you say, put in the appropriate insurance claim for that.
Can we move to, is it now, did Joe want to comment on that, the appurtenances?
Joe, do you have any comments for 179 through 183 in terms of what
Please,
generally
as
what
we're
those
taking
items
the
are?
time to do it, let's finish it now.
I think they're listed in the resolution for the record, just,
Yes.
They are.
yeah. They're actually listed in the actual resolution. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, please.
Thank you, Council President. Excellent question, Mr. Kunkelman. They are listed in the resolution. There's a lot more, but the way the resolution is worded, there are general categories, and I'll just go through a few of them just so that you understand. There's brass house service connections, cast iron house service connections for clamp repair clamps and bell joint repair clamps, wide range of repair couplings. These are things that we use every single day. Stainless steel service saddles, cast iron sleeves and retaining glands, end gaskets, gate valves, ductile iron pipe, plastic pipe, fire hydrants and parts, and meter pits and accessories.
Okay.
Can
And
we,
there are unit
Like
costs
everything
for
but
each
manhole
one.
covers.
everything but manhole cover, right.
Is there an estimated cap on this?
These are unit costs, and essentially the way the bid was awarded is we've gone back through 5 years of how often we use these things based on the incidents that occur, and these are estimates, so they could be essentially under or over depending upon what happens during the
Can
course
we-
of the year.
Close this now, George? Are you okay till the next session?
Yeah, sure.
Good. Thank you.
Did I hit? Shell Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. I'm going to start with 184 on the resolution. One of the things that we did say, and I also might leave the answers till the end. I'm worried about the statement about federal funding. What if that federal funding doesn't come through? You don't have to answer that now. It's not really a hypothetical. I think it's a concern that we might have, that if federal funding would be pulled, is there going to be some kind of plan B if that happens? Because that's going to be down the road, and I'd like that to be considered. Let's see if I have more time. I also agree with Mr. Gunkelman about Garvey's. It seemed like an expensive way to go when we should have known up front what kind, especially, I think it might be oil tanks in the ground. That should have been established before we paid out. And I don't know, you can correct me when I'm done about if those are oil tanks. Those are easily found out before a closing is done. And that should have been done either by us, or it should have been done by the people we hired. You know, we should have asked for that. Oil tank, Garvey's has been there a long time. Oil tanks were probably present also for a long time. Thank you, Mayor, for your negotiating all of those things about affordable housing, which is something I've always been interested in. I do have two very important questions about how the donation was established as a donation. I do have the resolution in front of me. It says that a negotiation of a donation of approximately 55 acres. And I'd like to know what is a donation, because the follow-up question would be, it seems like the builder did receive valuable consideration for the negotiation, so then it becomes really not so much a donation, but part and parcel of the transaction that is being made with the developer.
Do you want me to wait till you're on?
Please. And then water allocation, always a big thing. A couple years ago, I think when we were doing the master plan, we talked about water allocations. We would be safe for about 50 years, but the more we build, even when we reduce the building of housing and residential, and even as far as we go for commercial things, water allocation is going to be really used up in 50 years very, very quickly. And that is my concern. I've always been concerned about the quality of water, the amount of water we have going forward. I mean, I'm not going to be here in 50 years, but many of the young people and some of the police officers that we just hired might be, and I would like to make sure we have potable water. And we have to really, again, a matter of planning for residential things in order to protect our natural resources. So that's another thing. And
might be able to wait for this. Like I said, I'm worried about the federal tax allocations that you're including. And I also think that, my question is, did the council or the planning board or whoever negotiated this, did they ever talk to Honeywell about maybe doing an estimate for what you're talking about? And is the majority of what this energy savings is going to be a solar energy panels, which I am fully in favor of, but I think that for $14 million, if it's primarily solar panels, we could have found just a solar commercial solar constructor or developer to put them in without this energy thing. Plus, and don't forget, 19,000 of this doesn't sound much, but if it's such a great energy saving, why do we have to pay 19,000 for a guarantee return on our investment? And I'll stop now.
Sure.
Do you want me to answer the question about the 55 acres?
Absolutely.
So a negotiation is a negotiation. So they're not one-sided. One side doesn't get everything and the other side gets nothing. There were a lot of, I don't want to say moving parts, but there are a lot of different parts of the negotiations and things that we were trying to achieve. So number one on the hit parade was to reduce the number of family units. That was achieved by reducing the total number of units by 479 and reducing the number of family units by 350.
479 in what round or total, all the rounds?
So this is all the third round.
Third round.
So what we did is that we in the third round, and let me try to explain it this way. The JSM South project,
right,
which was part of your third round plan, had 1,479 units in it.
Right.
206 of those units were affordable units. What we did was relocated and reduced the total number of units to 1,000, but still 206 affordable units. So of the remaining units under the JSM South project, all of those units were going to be family units. Now, 350 of them are going to be seniors. So we reduced the overall size of the project by 479. And then in the component parts of the project, you reduce 350 units from family to senior, so thus reducing the total number of family units. So this is all third round.
Okay.
The 55 acres, so once again, like I said, there's things that we wanted to achieve. So number one on the hit parade, we want to reduce the number of family units. Number two, we want to reduce the overall number of units. Number three, we wanted to make sure that Regency had a buffer because it was surrounded by developable land. That 55 acres is 55 acres of developable land that, but for this transaction, would have been included in your fourth round. So that's the other thing that this did. It took it out of your fourth round calculation. So it provided a buffer for that developable land so that Regency would not have to worry about that. The other 100 acres is
Wait, this is protecting Regency?
It's adjacent to Regency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's right adjacent to Regency. So it buffers Regency from all of this other development.
Okay.
So those were the two things. And now, and in addition to that, the developer obviously is going to be able to build a warehouse. That's a rateable, so that goes two ways. But that was part of the giving up 479 units, giving up family units, getting a warehouse, putting it in the right place, which is the right planning place to put it, right smart growth place to put it. So those were all, I mean, and there are a lot of other little parts to it. If you go through it, you could see that, we were careful in terms of the details. For instance, the one thing that the mayor didn't mention is that we're extending water and sewer to the folks on Bentley Road who were here 2 or 3 months ago about that. So as part of this project, that's something that this developer would not have had to do at its cost. They will be doing at their cost.
Oh, it is now because it was ours. We were going to do it, right?
Well, we could have done it.
Right.
Yeah. But if we were going to do it, it would have been at our cost.
Thank
Correct.
you. Okay.
Yeah. So that was another part of it also.
Your turn.
I can go quick through the other issues. 184, the federal funding. It's a great point. The federal tax incentive to do these projects is expiring 12/31 of this year. Without that tax incentive, this project would not have made financial sense. It would have cost us money instead of saving us money. We have it in our contract, which the council will be presented with in November, and which is sort of standard across these contracts, that if for some reason the federal government pulls that tax incentive, we would not be liable for moving forward on the project. However, we're confident that the federal tax incentive is in place as long as we get 5% of the project started in 2025. And really that just means we have to buy 5% of the solar panels before the end of 2025. Most of this is going to happen between 2026 and 27, but we're still now in that safe harbor to receive that federal tax credit, which is important. The other thing I'll mention is that this proposed savings has to go through a series of rigorous reviews. We hired a third-party engineering firm that did an independent review and verified that we are going to achieve these savings. The Board of Public Utilities in Trenton reviewed our plan over the last couple of weeks. They got back to us on Friday that we are approved, that we will achieve the savings. And then over the next few weeks, this has to go to the local finance board in Trenton, which is why one of our resolutions makes application to the local finance board, and they also have to review and approve to assure that we are going to receive those savings. So a lot of belt and suspenders there, but beneficial.
Due diligence was done.
Due diligence for the township, correct.
Okay, let's see
Anyone
how
else?
that plays out. Thank you, Mayor, again for the affordable housing stuff. That's essential, and I hope, again, we keep in mind the potable water issues. Thank you.
Sir.
Good evening, everyone. Bob Valentine, Monroe Township, 68 Union Valley Road. Just a clarifying question on the financing for the project. You mentioned that part of this is going to be financed through refunding bonds. So we're going to retire some older debt to help and help use that to help fund this project. Do I understand that correctly? Or is it, when I hear refunding,
Sure.
that's what I think.
Council President, I might ask,
Yes.
our auditor, Gary Higgins,
Please
is
do.
here, and maybe he could sort of more articulately than I can, as a municipal auditor, sort of explain the concept of the refunding bonds.
The term refunding bonds in the statute, this is under the local public contracts law, but it also goes back to the local bond law 2-51. They use the terminology refunding in various different ways. You could be refunding tax appeals. You could be refunding, as you just said, old bonds, taking them out, and then gaining a savings based upon different interest rates. In this case, they're not taking out old bonds, but the title of the respective statutes under Title 40A calls them refunding bonds.
Okay.
All right, so it's a terminology, but no, it is not taking old bonds and retiring. These are new bonds. They're fully deductible against the debt under 48 2-6 under the local bond law. So they don't go against the debt borrowing capacity of the town, because the way the local finance board is going to look at this when they see the application, they're going to look at it and ensure that the savings are there to offset the debt service. Therefore, it's debt neutral.
Okay, so it goes back to what you were doing with due diligence. It's all tied to those savings being realized. Okay.
That's correct. And the other piece then is the energy credits, which will then pay down that debt. But under the local public contracts law, that piece has to be separated. That's why we have the one at 11.5 and the other at 4.6.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify the use of
It's
refunding bonds
confusing. The
with that.
terminology is
Yeah.
kind of confusing, correct?
Yeah, if I have time, one more question. I hear you with everything you talk about the due diligence in terms of the being able to achieve the savings. The question I would have is the due diligence process undertaken include validating that what you're being paid out, what you're paying for the project is appropriate, and I'll call it the best price? And do they also look at the methodology? Like I understand it's probably pretty consistent how you do this, but one of the things I was wondering since your presentation last month was, okay, I understand why we want to use this firm, it makes sense, I get it. But if you don't look at anybody else, how remotely it might be, how do you know like their approach, their style, what they're going to do is the optimum, there isn't anything that could be missed? So that's why not just about the price, but that plus approach and project plan, making sure those are all optimized.
Sure. Council President, that is part of the due diligence
Part of it,
process.
what we do.
Great.
And it's also, we look at other towns that have done similar, other boards of education that have done similar projects.
Okay.
So Piscataway and Secaucus on the town side, North Brunswick, and even Monroe is starting a project very, very soon. So you're 100% right. That has to be part of it.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Thank
If I
you.
could- Council President, if I could just follow up with one thing, because
Yes,
I know there's
please.
concern about deductibility of the debt, the authorization of the debt.
Please do
One
so.
thing that should be noted, under the local bond law, there's a calculation whereby you do 3.5% of your 3-year average equalized valuation. And from the last audit, just so, you know, the public knows, the town could borrow $474 million. At this point in time, the net debt is roughly $67 million, or 14% of that number. So if somebody thinks, you know, we're piling on more debt, your debt percentage is 57/100ths of the 3.5% you could go up to. So your debt load, probably compared to many other towns, is lower than most towns, and you could borrow another $407 million under the statute. So there's no feeling here that you're overloaded on debt with respect to the bond law. And that's a calculation that's done for every community in the town. And yours is 0.57% versus up to 3.5%, or
Careful
only
stewards of money, are
14%.
we?
So I
Thank
just
you
want
for
to
that.
let the public know that.
Thank you very much.
And there's also another benchmark if people are concerned about debt. The only time you do get into a problem with debt, if your debt goes greater than 25% in your annual budget. That is a needle pop on the Division of Local Government Services board that would say you have a serious problem, you have too much debt. Your debt in your 24 audit was only 9.65% of your budget. So that's only 38% of what you could go up to before the Division of Local Government Services would notify you that your debt load's too heavy in your budget. So both of those indices, based upon the respective state statute, shows that the township does not have
Careful stewards of our money.
the town does not have a debt problem based upon those indices and the benchmarks that promulgated over the New Jersey municipalities.
Thank you, sir.
Are there any other financial covenants that they have to follow besides
Sir,
that? Oh.
we're all out of time now.
Well, you did take some of my
You
time,
know,
fairness.
You had lost your 5. Please.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll
Well, you
I'll
can
come
come back again.
I'll come back again. That's the
You
question
can
I
come
wanted to
back
ask you.
again. Anyone else wishing to address us, please? Yes.
Good evening, Chrissy Skirby, 21 Preakness Drive. Following up on this same conversation with the ESIP program, what company did the township, are they using for this program?
Schneider Electric.
Schneider, oh, okay. And did you say you are planning on taking the guarantee?
We are, yes.
Okay. Has the town reached out to the school district, to Laura Allen, the business administrator? Because there was a very long, and I know many of us were there, Mr. Gunkelman, myself, Ms. Arminio, I think Mr. Valentine, and we sat through various presentations by Honeywell. That is who the school district went with for their ESA program. And they told us that in, I forget how many years, 25, 30 years, they never paid out the guarantee. The Board of Education did an extensive evaluation of that, and they decided not to take the guarantee. So I'm just wondering what the reasoning is with the township. If you're saying that all of these figures are looked at, and it sounds like you're assuming that we're going to realize all of that savings, why would you be giving away money for that guarantee?
Right. It's a good question, Council President. So we evaluated it in terms of a $15 million project, expending an additional $19,000 to guarantee at least 90% of the savings. It is, a fraction of the cost of what we're doing. In the cash flow analysis that is built in, which shows that we're still, with the savings that we're getting, we're still recouping those funds. We've talked to other towns, including, I mentioned Piscataway and Secaucus, and we were put in touch with West Windsor's Board of Education. I believe some of our folks from Schneider even talked to Honeywell. I'll confirm that, but I believe that happened. And it's just, it's an extra guarantee. There's volatility in the electric market.
Can you explain how the guarantee works?
Sure. So, if our general contractor, Schneider Electric, guarantees that we will achieve at least 90% of the savings that have been promised. And anything below that, they would owe us the delta on that. Again, it may never happen. It may be sort of an insurance policy that we never have to use. But in my opinion, I thought with such a large project, and in consultation with our financial advisors and bond counsel that we work with, we decided to recommend that as part of the project. But it's a good question.
Yeah, because it was discussed ad nauseum at the Board of Education level, and I'm surprised that the township, and they've already started the ESA program, that's been already running, and it's a shame that the township didn't reach out to the Board of Education and perhaps do something in collaboration with them and maybe even get a better deal on that.
Yeah. Council President, I'm not sure. The Board of Education can borrow money differently from the
Yes, they
township,
can.
so I don't know if you can.
It had to go through a refunding bond as well. It went through a...
Correct.
But that was not the decision we made, and we moved ahead with the contractor we feel safe with, and you moved ahead, the Board of Ed moved ahead with contractors they felt safe with. And
All
maybe
right.
you all be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I just, it's any amount of money. I mean, my taxes went up $1,700 this year alone. I don't like to see any wasteful spending or any, just saying that it's a small amount of money. I'd really like to know, I'd like to see, perhaps if that's a public record, the document explaining the guarantee, because what was explained at the Board of Education level, there were all these stipulations, and it was going to be really difficult to even have that guarantee be meaningful to the deal. So it just, to me, I'd like to see as a taxpayer what you guys have agreed to, because I think that's something that really should have been vetted more, and I don't like to see any of our taxpayer money being squandered in any way. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none. Sir, you are waiting for the regular meeting, or?
I have some concern to raise with the council and also the mayor regarding the garbage disposal.
Wait for the regular meeting that we're getting to as I close the public comment section. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public section hearings is closed. This meeting is now adjourned. We will reconvene immediately with the regular meeting. I turn to my correct pages. Put my glasses back on. Regular meeting of this Monroe Township Council this September 3rd is called to order. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. May I have a motion? The time is
7:50.
7:50. May I have a motion to approve payments of claims per the run date of August 27th, 2025?
Motion.
Thank you. Second. Second. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Councilman Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 4th, 2025 agenda and regular combined meeting? Motion. Motion. Thank you. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Ordinances for second reading, please.
Ordinance 08-2025-019. Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of North Disbrow Hill Road for use as open space in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,635,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,509,500 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to open a public hearing on this ordinance, please?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Anyone wishing to address us on this ordinance, please come forward stating your name and address for the record.
Shell Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. The ordinance says, we're talking about 19, all right.
19.
Who is the seller that is going to be receiving the $2,635,000?
Federal Business Centers is the property owner.
And they're a part of the previous negotiations also?
No, that's a completely different.
So this is the whole of that property that was going to be a warehouse?
No, this is just the part of it that the township's going to purchase. The other part, and that's the specific lot and blocks that are indicated in the ordinance.
Okay.
This is also other land that is adjacent to it that is going to be given to the township.
Okay.
But the other part, the principal part, let's call it, of the land where the warehouse is going to be part of it is now going to be part of our fourth round affordable housing settlement, and that is in the other MOU.
That is I'm sorry?
That is in the other MOU.
Okay. So how much of the land is going to be the purchase for open space?
How many acres do you recall?
So the acquisition is 22 acres,
Correct.
and then the donation is an additional 44 acres
The donation from
Federal
Business
Business Center,
Centers.
same property owner.
and they're donating that freely without any valuable consideration?
Yes.
Is another builder or developer giving them money for that 44 acres?
No.
Is that wetlands? In all the years I've been here, I have not known any developer to give that kind of land without something in return.
My guess is that some of it is wetlands. It is probably usable for active recreation. The thing about wetlands, and we say this all the time, there's a move afoot in Washington to reclassify wetlands as buildable.
Well, that's an awful darn shame, in my opinion.
There is, but what I'm saying is that, so when we get 44 acres of land that you say, oh, well, it's just wetlands. Well, it's just wetlands today, but somebody could blink at EPA and it could be developable. So it's preserving land. I mean, there's a value to it for us.
There is a whole lot of blinking going on and changing the quality of our environmental laws and policies.
Sure,
So we're not behind that.
I agree with you. And the United States Supreme Court has, in some cases that they haven't decided yet, but that in the dicta in their cases have raised questions as to whether or not they believe that wetlands regulations are actually in
I know, but we should not be encouraging that here.
No, but what we should be doing is preserving as much land as we can now.
Okay.
And not being concerned so much as to whether it's wetland.
Well, my experience in the parkland was that, and you know, I don't want to say where that came from, but the parkland, those 77 acres that we got as a diversion for the parkland, a lot of it was not buildable, and all of the donations that we got from developers, they were almost glad to get rid of it. A lot of it had rocks and hills and wetlands and all that kind of stuff. So my experience has told me that it is rare that a developer will give up good quality uplands for nothing. So I hope that the negotiations that went forward, and I'm happy to have it. But is anything going to be on the 22 acres? Is that where the park might be?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And what about the 44 acres? What's the plan for that?
It would be, whatever it is, would probably be passive recreation, trails, that kind of thing.
Right.
Is that contiguous to the 22 acres?
Yes.
No, there's a break in the middle of it,
There's
right?
a break in the middle of it.
Mark?
It's close, but
Yeah,
not.
they're not adjoining properties.
adjoining, yeah.
And the larger parcel, it does have a lot of wetlands. It is somewhat landlocked, and I think it's along the stream corridor as well.
And that is in this ordinance 19?
Yes, it's part.
Okay,
Well, actually, I think that 19 is the bond ordinance. 20 is actually the acquisition ordinance.
Is the acquisition ordinance.
Correct.
Okay, well, I'm certainly happy. You know, open space is open space, and sometimes even if it's passive, it's a great thing. But I just wanted to clarify that it might be a lot of wetlands. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this ordinance? Hearing none, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 08-2025-019, please?
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 08-2025-020.
Ordinance to acquire by negotiated agreement and donation real property known and designated as Tax Block 2, Lot 1, and Block 3, Lot 25, on the official tax map of the Township of Monroe, Middlesex County, New Jersey, located off North Disbrow Hill Road for open space and recreation purposes.
Thank you. Motion to open a public hearing, please.
Motion.
Thank you. A second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to address the council on this ordinance, please come forward now.
Michelle Arminio, I would just reiterate everything that I had just said previously, but for the sake of Mr. Markle getting home early and going to bed early, I'm going to refrain from that and just say that
Are you inferring that I'm old or what's?
No, sir, I know that you like to go home early. You get, no, okay. I thought that was the case. Anyway, I'm sorry. It was a joke, and you and I have joked before. Okay, he's not offended on that side, just so you know. Okay, my only objection is I want to be consistent with all the years I've come up and said that I object to the word donation, because I do think that valuable consideration goes on with these things. That's my only objection to this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to comment on this ordinance? Seeing and hearing none, motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Public hearing is closed. May I have a motion to adopt 08-2025-020?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We will move to the ordinances for first reading. 09-2025-022.
Energy Savings Obligation Refunding Bond Ordinance of the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition, construction, and installation of energy conservation improvements in connection with an energy savings improvement program of the township, appropriating $11,500,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $11,500,000 energy savings obligation refunding bonds to provide for a portion of the cost of such improvements.
Motion, please.
Council President, I just had a question, if I could.
Yes, sir.
I believe one of the residents asked how long the term of this bond would be. I don't know if that got answered by our professionals.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Motion.
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second on the
Second.
motion? Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
09-2025-023.
Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition, construction, and installation of energy conservation improvements in connection with an energy savings improvement program in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $4,600,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4,380,000 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We move to resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda. R9-2025-171 through R9-2025-190. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Banzora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We move to our reports, please. Our administrator's report. Mr. McGowan.
Thank you, Council President. I'll be very brief tonight. I just want to thank the council for moving forward on the acquisition of properties on Disborough Hill Road. That's very important to the township. Just want to give a brief update on JCP&L streetlight outages. So we provided a list of 235 streetlight outages prepared by our police department and given to JCP&L. JCP&L informed us that as of today, all but 95 of those have been repaired. What's still left to be repaired on their list includes 80 what are called fault repairs, deeper issues with wiring in the ground. Those are now on work order and hopefully completed in the next 30 days. An additional 7 head replacements, which might actually be done by the end of this week. And there are 8 pole replacements that are waiting on the delivery of poles. So we're optimistic that we're moving in the right direction, and happy that JCP&L reached out to us with that information. And lastly, I just want to thank Lori and our finance team and our solar consultants for preparing our application to the local finance board. And thanks to all the residents who asked questions about it. The actual resolution to approve that will be at the November 5th meeting. Those bond ordinances are coming back for second reading on November 5th. Usually we'd come back the next month, but that local finance board process will take the month of October, so we'll be back here on November 5th to finalize and give the council an opportunity to make a final decision on all of those items. And that's my report. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Mr. Razumowitz.
Thank you, Council President. I'll give an update on some of the projects as we move into September here. The Monmouth Road flashing pedestrian signal that was installed and operational in time for the start of school. That took a while, but we got it done. James Monroe Park, the concession stand and park improvements project. There hasn't been much work going on out there in the last month or so. That project is scheduled to resume next week. The general contractor had a problem with one of its subcontractors, but now they resolved that and they're moving forward to get the project completed this year. The Monroe Township Police Department addition. The contractor has some remaining site concrete work to do in the parking areas, and then we're hopeful that they'll move forward with the paving of the parking lot later this month. The work inside the building continues, and that project is moving, though at a slow pace. It is progressing. Let's see, the senior center pickleball courts and parking lot improvements. That project is scheduled to start next week. It was awarded at the last council meeting, and that contractor is anxious to move forward and again, hopefully get it as much done as they can while weather permits. Hopefully complete it, but we'll see how that goes. But that will start next week. And lastly, the Middlesex County project for the Prospect Plains Road and Applegarth Road intersection traffic signal improvement. I'm happy to report that the county had a pre-construction meeting this morning that I attended, as well as Gary Lavallo, our arborist, and a member of our Shade Tree Commission. As you know, it is adjacent to the Monroe Oak at that intersection, so a lot of precautions have been put in place as part of that project to preserve that and help the tree. That project is about to start in 3 weeks, give or take. That is several months. There is utility relocations that will be starting, but I'm happy to report that is going to start. Now, you may recall that project is going to provide dedicated left turn lanes in all 4 directions, as well as protected left turn arrows for our residents out there. So we look forward to getting that started and completion sometime next year. That's my report.
Council reports. I'll start with our Ward 1 councilman.
I'm gonna make this pretty
Mr.
quick.
Markel.
Just like to remind everybody, is this on? Hello? Okay.
I just want to remind everybody that the PAS1 application is due by October 31st. That's for the Yanker program, the Senior Freeze, and the Stay New Jersey. You got to get it in. Please everybody get it in who qualifies. I just want to thank Kevin for the work he's done on this solar program. I'm very much for anything that deals with our environment and saving money at the same time. This is a great program. I think we should have looked into this earlier, but I'm sure Terry is happy about this happening. I don't know what kind of reaction I'm getting over there.
We're all good.
We're all good. We got to keep Terry happy. One other thing I just want to comment on our one of the things that we approved is a vacuum truck, a sewer vacuuming truck, and people look at money we spend here in Monroe. Truck like that's $600,000, and people think it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but try to run a township without a vacuuming sewer truck. And if it happens in your neighborhood, you'll realize that it's money well spent. And as far as exploring pricing for that, Monroe's in a number of co-ops around mainly in New Jersey, but even as far as Houston, Texas, to look for best prices. So we do, Kevin and his staff do look for the best prices out there. One other thing I'd just like to mention, Councilman DePiero has been proposing a discount for first responders and volunteers for a while. I think that's a great idea, and I've been thinking about it a lot because it is a good idea for the people that volunteer in this town. What's going on in the country and the world with shootings and bombings and everything, where we need our first responders. Anything we can do to help them and support them is very important. But I think an idea might be to expand it to our veterans. We have a lot of veterans here in Monroe, and if we could extend some kind of discounts for fees and programs for our veterans, that might be a great idea also. The councilman agrees with that. There's a lot of events happening in the next few months. I'm not going to touch on it because I know Councilman Siegel will be mad at me for touching her fire there. So that's about it. Thank you, everybody.
And speaking of Councilwoman Siegel, Ward 2.
Thank you, Council President. And yes, Mr. Markel, I will share a couple events. But first, I wanted to share with the community to be on the lookout for a survey to complete from the township over the next month or so, asking the community to share ideas for the upcoming park that will be coming to the southern side of Monroe, the North Disbrow Hill area. As a reminder, 2 years ago, we had applied for the Green Acres grant for the community garden, and we were awarded $1.2 million. So we are very confident that we will do just as well or better when we apply for the Green Acres grant in 2026. So be on the lookout for that survey to complete. And then just a couple dates to share as liaison to some of these commissions. Our Historic Preservation Commission has our annual vintage baseball game at Dye Farm on Saturday, September 13th from 12 to 2:30. It's free admission. It's always a lot of fun. And they have an exhibit this year, Vintage Toys and Games from Monroe and Jamesburg. So please do come and check it out. Our Cultural Arts Commission has a lot of events coming up this fall. Our first one is our Township Diwali event, which will be on Sunday, October 12th from 4 to 7 at the Senior Center. Please join us as we celebrate Diwali and enjoy the cultural programming around dances from India. And we also have our local Indian restaurants and vendors too, so please do come out. And we end our night with the beautiful dia lighting back out on the pavilion at the Senior Center. And our Cultural Arts Commission is presenting ABBA concert on Sunday, October 19th at 4 p.m. at the high school. Please check the Cultural Arts website for more information how to purchase tickets. And we had a ribbon cutting recently at the Red Agave restaurant in the Gable Shopping Center. So wish the new restaurant all the best and encourage our residents to come out and support this new restaurant. Thank you.
Very good. Ward 3.
Thank you, Council President.
You're most welcome.
Okay, I just want to touch on a couple things. Sunday, the Dive Farm, we have Hannah Kerwin, who her mom, Louise Kerwin, was a historian from Monroe back in the 60s and the 70s, and her dad, Bill Kerwin, was a local real estate broker for many years. Went to school with Hannah, so she has a lot of history besides of her family, but a lot of history over 100 years of pictures and stories to tell the residents. So it's something good. That's something good for the community at the one-room school on Sunday at 1 o'clock, as our Councilwoman Siegel just said. I wanted to talk about the crosswalks at the schools and also where our crossing guards are. It's important that we get the striping done on these crosswalks. Schools started, and also to just kind of warn everybody, drive safe, drive slow, and respect the bus drivers. It's not an easy job out there. They have a busy schedule, and wish the students and the staff and the teachers, wish them good luck for a successful year. But it's important that we do the proper striping in front of all these schools. We had National Night Out. It was a big success. It was a very good turnout. I want to thank our first responders, DPW, Parks, everyone that was part of that. It was a huge turnout. We had the car show, and everything went really, it was a beautiful night, and everything went well. And putting that, what we just witnessed tonight with our chief of police, Chief Banos, and his staff, it just makes you feel sitting up here is very important, but more importantly, it's the people that work for our township that make it an exceptional town. And the way that our police, they do everything from start to finish with our first aid and our fire departments. All the hurricanes, and now we're coming into another crazy season. They have no idea what is in front of them. But this is an incredible group of men and women, and we just sworn in 4 more police officers, and it's just, as our mayor said, it's part of our family, and we thank their families for giving them to us to protect us and our residents. So I just wanted to congratulate everyone again on that exceptional reward that they deserved and they earned. Well 21, the repairs that are getting done on Well 21, I watch it closely on our infrastructure, our water towers, painting our water towers and the infrastructure. And Well 21, I know Joe and his staff is doing an exceptional job. I just wanted to make sure that that project is on schedule and is on budget.
Yes, it is.
It is. That's a great job, and that's leadership that we appreciate, Joe, and I know it's not an easy task for what you guys do with that water and sewer, but thank you. That's great news. Another note on water is the pump station number 9. We've asked our attorney to send out a response about a body shop that is encroaching onto our township-owned property. Can I get an update on pump station 9?
Your turn again.
So, Council President, our attorney's office reached out to that property owner, and I believe that they are in communication. I don't have an update in terms of a schedule of when those vehicles are going to be removed. Vehicles are encroaching upon MTUD property.
Okay, do we have any right to remove these vehicles off of our property?
Yes.
Yes.
So
I mean, we always try to do it if we can do it without resorting to litigation. That was why we called and said and try to get them to do it. If that doesn't happen, we have an absolute right to do that.
Because this has been going on for so long, and they keep encroaching. And what's happening is a lot of our employees having a hard time just getting to the pump station, and it's just not fair. I mean, they work around the clock, our crew, for this, and I just think if they don't remove the cars, then we should remove them at their expense. Thank you for the update. 9/11, we have a memorial coming up. It's a time that we all remember exactly where we were and what was going on at that time. And it's something that everybody says, we will not forget. So hopefully, I know our first responders, our staff will be there, and it's something that we all remember and we will never forget. 9/11, it's around 8:30, 8:45 on 9/11. Tomorrow there's a ribbon cutting on England Road at 4:45. There's a trail that was constructed. There used to be a street called Long Street for many years. A lot of people just used it for the hunting guys used to just use it. It wasn't a road that people can drive a car down. It was something that all the hunting, guys and girls, whoever hunted, would use that long street. So that's tomorrow, ribbon cutting, England Road at 4:45. On 9/20, September 20th, it's 10 o'clock at the high school. There's a car show, and also Green Fair is something that we attend and we support. I'm the liaison for the Green Team, and it's very important to attend on September 20th at 10 o'clock. I also wanted to say thank you to Mark and to everyone involved with getting the county on Prospect Plains Road about the Monroe Oak. I'm the liaison for the Shade Tree, and we don't stop talking about that Monroe Oak and protecting that Monroe Oak. So it's very important, and I want to say thank you for you and your staff to make sure that the job gets done with the county. So thank you, Mark. League of Women Voters, they're having just meet the candidates on September 8th at the Senior Center. It's at 6 to 9. It's just a day that just come out at the League of Women Voters. They always do a good job, and that's going to be their event on September 8th. And that's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you. Terry. Happy Terry.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me first say, to me, the most significant thing, the police accreditation tonight. When you move to a town, what do you look for? And probably the most important thing you look for is having a safe town. And year after year, we usually gain some form, statistically speaking, being one of the safest towns around. We owe that to having a great police force. And not only do they do a great job, but they do it in a professional manner. And I think they certainly deserve whatever praise they get. And we very much appreciate them, and I know all the citizens do too. When I first moved here, we had an incident where our front doors blew open in the middle of the night, the alarms went off, and the police were there in like no time at all and walked us through the house. And the reason I say it's because they showed that they cared. And, you want that out of your police. A lot of times nowadays, police get a bad rap, you hear about bad things, but that's why I always like to emphasize when they do the good things, and our police are very, very good, and we're very appreciative of them. Speaking of police type things, first of all, Charlie sort of mentioned that, kids are back in school now, right? So we got to be careful driving. There's a couple of laws in particular people need to know. When there's school buses, you cannot go around them. Even if you're going in the other direction, you got to let the school buses go. Watch out for the kids. When there are pedestrians in a crosswalk and you're going down the street, even if there's no traffic light there, state law is you must yield to pedestrians. So anybody that's watching this, please be careful. And it's for a safety reason. because we don't want anything to happen to children or other people that might be in the crosswalk. So those are two items. Just talking for a second about Leah Wagner, who retired. You know, when she says 36 years, that's really is a long time. I've lived in the town 29 years, and I think back when I came here, we barely had computers going back then, you know? So think of all the changes that the library went through, and the fact that they were able to modernize and integrate technology to the point where when you look at the things that get done on a monthly basis, and you know, when I was young, you went to the library to get books to read, and that's it. Now there's so many things that they do, and they just did a wonderful job growing as the times changed. And a credit to her and the entire staff. And you always feel confident that we'll be able to go forward, and that'll be a continual source of pride. I did want to mention also, they finished all the paving at Inwood Estates, which is right next to my development, and I sometimes go down there walking or riding a bike or whatever, and they did a nice job. Those people had so much to put up with, you know, between the landfill and everything, and there was a time when they had the construction, and there was a time when they had trucks coming out of there, with the tank trucks taking out the leachate. So to see that it's finally done, hopefully those people in that section can have a little bit more peace of mind, and you know, move forward without a lot of other distractions. I do want to thank Mayor and administration for their work on the affordable housing that they did. I think it'll be a long run of tremendous savings and good for the overall benefit of the town, including the Disbro Hill Road acquisition. They do need a park down on the south side, so that's a great thing to have. So all those things are great. And I have one last thing I wanted to end on. I saw this article actually in the Home News. Young man named Christopher Jones Jr. from Monroe actually he's a Boy Scout, and he earned all 139 merit badges that are offered by the Boy Scouts of America. And to give you an idea, the Boy Scouts have been in existence well over 100 years, I believe, and less than 1% of the Boy Scouts, it's 115 years, less than 1% of the Scouts have ever been able to do that. So we have a young man in our town that did that. He deserves our congratulations, as well as his mom, Christina, and his father, Christopher, who guided him along on that journey. So congratulations to Christopher and his family. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
No report.
That was brief. This happens to me all. I'd like to move to our public comment section, please. May I have a motion to open public comments?
Motion.
May I have a second on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I know we have several people all waiting to speak to us.
Thank you so much.
Your name and address for our records.
Christina Fahim, 21 Avenue J. I'm bringing up awareness to a situation that happened on Thursday, August 28th regarding dog violence and death. My parents helped me take care.
A little more slowly so I can understand
I
your
just
words.
want to make sure I have enough time.
You will. I want to hear your words, please.
Thank you. My parents helped me and take care of my children and dog while I'm working. They live at 24 Venezia Drive. I dropped off my dog and my baby that morning, and my dad took my dog Roy for a walk while I was getting my baby situated. During this walk, the dog Scoopy, a Rottweiler, who lives at 16 Venezia Drive, escaped out of its home unleashed, charged unprovoked at my dog and my dad, and murdered my dog. This was a preventable attack had the dog been appropriately contained in its home. Regardless, this dog has had multiple incidences, not only in this neighborhood, but in the surrounding neighborhoods. This dog has shown aggressive behavior towards dogs and humans. One neighbor told me that they had reported the attack to the police at Veterans Park. However, the police failed to write a report and only gave them a verbal warning. Multiple neighbors have spoken to its owners about their negligent ownership of the dog over the past 2 years. Despite multiple conversations, they continue to expose the neighborhood to a wild animal, not a domesticated or trained dog. Currently, the dog still resides in its home, and it is pending the judge's decision on whether it will stay or be removed from its home. I have been unwell since the death of my dog, and I cannot sleep thinking what would have happened if my 2 kids were on that walk with my father. The whole neighborhood feels unsafe living around this dog. I would like advice on how to proceed if the judge permits the dog to stay in the neighborhood. None of the neighbors want this dog to stay in its home. I would also like the township to work on a program with animal control to ensure neighbors and following dog rules of the township are followed. In addition, I'd like to bring up an issue with the dispatcher that occurred the day when 911 was called. My dad was in extreme distress when he called 911. He literally sounded like he was dying. The dispatcher was not only rude to him, but asked unnecessary questions during an active attack instead of sending immediate help. This resulted in a delay in police and animal control showing up to the scene and allowed the pet owner of Scooby enough time to tamper with the evidence of the scene. If you would like to watch the footage of the gruesome attack, I have it so that you can understand the severity of the issue and how much danger we are in. Furthermore, we spoke to the postal carrier on that street, and she reported that the day after the incident, the Monroe Township police officers went to the post office and informed them of the situation and distributed pepper spray to the carriers in case they come into an encounter with this dog. This just shows that the police themselves perceive this dog as dangerous. Meanwhile, we have no protection against him. What steps does this town plan to take to protect the people in these types of situations? Terrence mentioned that this is one of the safest towns because of the police. Thank you.
Kevin, we can just discuss.
Is it
Yes.
a pending matter in court? So
It's in court.
our judge, our local judge, or a judge in New Brunswick?
I believe our local judge, that information wasn't given to me.
So certainly your comments will pass along to our police department. Obviously, your comments about the way dispatch was handled will pass along to the police department. You can file a complaint there with the police chief with regards to that, so we can do that. You have your own civil remedies if you want to pursue those. But right now, I think if you're in court and the judge is considering whether to remove the dog, that's a determination. It's not just to remove the dog; it would be to put that dog down if it's a dangerous dog under the statute at least. But like I said, if you have your complaints, you should call the chief's office and you should register those complaints and they'll conduct an investigation as to how the call was handled.
There's a state statute on that.
There is a state statute. I think it's the second bite. I think that, yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there absolutely is a state statute.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? There
is a state statute that says if a dog is found to have bitten once before and it bites again. It's called the one bite law. It literally.
We don't subscribe to it.
Well, it's a state law.
State law.
There is a state law. There is a state law in New Jersey. I know that there's.
I've read a lot about it.
Yeah. Well.
At this point,
The councilman and I, both being attorneys that practice here in Middlesex County, we're aware of the fact that there is such a law in New Jersey. And that's why you're in court and then you have the ability to get the dog removed. So.
See what happens then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. You're welcome. Got 5 minutes. I'm going to go fast. The first one is just for you to think. The second one we'll go into.
Name and address.
Sorry, your name and address for
I'm
the
sorry.
record, please.
Lonnie Keller, 1 Betsy Ross Drive in Concordia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? First one's just for you to think about. When I moved here 5 years ago, we had an ESCO in place. An ESCO, Energy Saving Company.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And once the profit margin became narrow, the ESCO said we can't do anything for you. But it's been 3 years, and now that our rates are going up as much as 20%, isn't this something the town should look at?
Did we not go out to bid again, attempt to do that?
Correct. So we're in the process of working with our consultant to go out to another bid for energy aggregation. So over the last couple of years, we have gone out to bid, and many towns have, and haven't gotten a rate below the tariff rate. So it doesn't make sense at that point. However, I've just heard as recently as last week that a municipality in Ocean County did a little bit better than the tariff rate. So we're always looking for ways to.
Right, but I figure now that we have that 20% hit that's coming now, there should be a little bit of fat on the bone.
And that may very well be the reason why that other municipality got a better rate, and we're going to absolutely work toward that.
The second one, I'm going to pick on you, but it's not personal. I was listening to you talk about JCP&L giving you a pack of lies, that there was 235 lights out and only 90 are still in disrepair? Is that roughly the numbers you gave?
Of the 235 lights that our police reported, which does not include lights within gated senior communities.
That's my next, okay.
Correct. The community managers of the gated senior communities have asked to communicate directly with JCP&L to provide those lists. We have just been encouraged in the last several weeks by the fact that 140 lights throughout the town, not in the communities, have been repaired. So we were, in comparison to other responsiveness in the past, that is progress. It's not good enough, of course, but it is somewhat hopeful that we got the right people who are paying attention to this now. So that's what I meant.
Is there a dedicated department within the JCP&L that is supposed to attend to private communities? And not to make you laugh, and you said there were 90. We have 90 out in Concordia alone. I'm not even kidding.
But your community is reporting it. Your community manager, if I remember correctly, that's First Service, they are responsible for reporting that to JCP&L.
Right. I actually had to tackle the JCP&L guy.
I'm sorry,
No,
but
anyway, I want to thank
we
you for
don't
your time.
control.
I understand that. Thank you for
You're welcome. Sir, you've been waiting patiently, please. Your name and address for our records.
My name is Sengiz Akun, AKGUN, and living in 20 Cornell Avenue, Monroe Township. The reason that I'm here is regarding the garbage disposal prices increasing in our community. And I'm aware of that since I'm living in this town since 1990, and every year like 10-15% that they are adding on, and I reduced my garbage disposal things to once a week. Still this year they raised again, and this is not only me, and I checked with also the town groups in the social media, and everybody is complaining about this, and they are not consistent with the prices. There are 3 companies that's serving in our town, and each of them are just giving the numbers that which doesn't make any sense. Sometimes you have to negotiate with them, and sometimes you try to tell them that you are going to cancel the service. Then they will start giving you some sort of price compromise. So I don't understand why our township cannot ask them to bid, and like we did for the electricity before, we can have one company that if they lower the price, so you can recommend everybody, so then everybody should know how much they are going to pay. Because I pay around $105, and some people are paying close to $300 in this town for the garbage disposal. I don't understand this kind of price variations in this town.
Either do I.
Sure.
Sure. Can you comment on that? I know, Ms. Mayor, is an issue.
Sure. So, Council President, it's an incredibly, understandable and frustrating issue. The prices have gone up, and they are inconsistent across the township. So we appreciate the feedback. The mayor has the administration and I and our CFO and our DPW director constantly looking at this, right? Is there a better way? What are other towns doing? How can we, reduce costs for the residents? And so we're always looking into that. We're looking at where other towns are coming out in terms of going out to bid. The only other option, other than the option that we have now, which is essentially now you have the freedom of choice to go from one of those carriers to another at any time. The other option for municipalities under the law is that we would have to go out to bid for one single trash hauler, and those contracts are long-term contracts, And that may very well save us some money. It may not. We're constantly looking into it. The challenge is that I'm talking to a lot of other business. I apologize, my microphone keeps cracking. I'm talking to a lot of other business administrators throughout the state, and many of them are trying to get out of that business because they've gone out to bid. They've been in a long-term contract. Maybe the trash hauler wasn't very good, wasn't very reliable, and it's very difficult, if not impossible, to break that contract in the middle. Right now, someone can cancel their private contract with a trash hauler at any time here in Monroe. The other issue is, as costs have gone up for Republic and IWS and these other carriers that are passing those costs on to you, they're also going up for the single trash haulers that are serving an entire town. So garbage trucks cost $700,000 when they used to cost $150,000, and landfill tipping fees are in the millions of dollars per year. So other administrators are telling me, hey, 5 years ago we had a good rate, we bid for a pretty good rate, but now we're going out to bid again. We got one bidder and the price doubled for our municipality, which means if your taxes are going to have to go up larger than what you're paying for garbage, we never want to put anyone in a situation where they're paying more. So I don't mean to suggest that there's an easy solution here. We're constantly looking through the various options that we have, but we don't want to pull the trigger and jump into a long-term contract that could year after year increase taxes for our residents that would be detrimental to their affordability.
At least the town can ask what's their prices rather than every individual they call them and get different prices from them. So if possible that only the three of them are serving, maybe as a town, you can ask what's their price list. And because if I talk to them, they are giving me a price. And if my neighbor is calling and talking differently, and they are giving different price. Yeah. So it's not the same price. I don't understand that. And the other thing is, the fuel cost is right now is going down. I mean, last year and year before, we were paying much more for the gasoline and the diesel. And right now, I don't understand why the cost is going up and up. Maybe, like you said, landfill price and the other things. But I don't really see that how they are justifying this. I heard that Republic is right now having trouble with some states because there are some strikes against them so they have some negotiations with their workers. I don't know if we are going to be impacted on that or not, because I am with the Republic at this point.
Thank you for your comments, sir. If we come up with a solution, we would be happy to share it, but right now, we're not. We're still evaluating what our options would be.
Okay.
And thank you. Sir, hello. Good evening. Your name and address for our records, please.
Hi, Mark Steele, 1 Karen Court.
Yes.
I've been a resident of Karen Court in Monroe for about 20 years now, and a few weeks ago, I emailed to the council a sample resolution proposing that the township either refund the $150 municipal portion of the permit to carry fee or waive it entirely. New Jersey recently increased the fees for firearms ID cards, pistol purchase permits, and permits to carry applications. And the cost for a permit to carry is now $200, which is a 400% increase from before the law was changed. Of that, $50 is paid directly to the state, and $150 is paid to the municipality. Beyond this, applicants also have to complete mandatory classroom training on use of force and live fire instruction, known as C-CARE certification, which can cost up to $300 or more. These combined costs, potentially $500 or more every 2 years, create a significant financial burden. Whether intentional or not, this fee structure disproportionately affects lower-income residents, effectively pricing them out of exercising a fundamental constitutional right. This raises serious concerns about fairness, both socioeconomically and racially. To put this in perspective, imagine needing to pay for a public speaking course, prove your competency, and then apply for a permit to speak at this very meeting only to repeat the process every 2 years at a similar cost. Such a system would understandably feel restrictive and unjust. So the resolution I sent over to you, the sample, has now been passed in towns in Monmouth, Bergen, Sussex, Morris, and in Middlesex counties. I respectfully urge the council to direct the Monroe Business Administrator to review that proposal, that proposed resolution, and collaborate with the township attorney to draft an appropriate version for a vote. Policies like this one in question here have real-world consequences, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Additionally, I kindly request that the council take a preliminary poll this evening, if you can, to gauge your support for this resolution as outlined. Thank you for your time and consideration.
You're welcome. We would not be taking a preliminary poll. That is not how this council operates. We thank you, and I did read the material you sent, as I'm sure all of my colleagues did.
Thank you.
And
No questions, huh?
no,
Okay. Thank you for your time.
you're most welcome. Sir, are you in a race for who gets here first? Have a seat. You're there.
Max Saywitz, 113 Huffman Road. I've emailed the Department of Public Works, and I know I spoke to you actually on Saturday about this, but I don't know how this town decides which roads they're going to pave. I know that's probably an engineering question or paint lines on the roads, but I've been on Huffman Road for over 30 years now. And in all that time, 24 years ago, they put the sewers in at one end and they patched that side of the road. And then probably about a dozen years ago, they put fire hydrants at the other end and they patched that side of the road. And since then, that road has not been paved or striped. It's full of potholes. The middle of the street is splitting. And when I saw the list of the roads that were getting paved this year, it was kind of frustrating because the Highlands got paved, which is effectively a private cul-de-sac road, which was put in after my street was last paved. So I would really like, I didn't even get a response from the person I emailed at the Department of Public Works, which is more frustrating. But I would like to know if there's any chance that it'd be put on the schedule for next year. The road is not safe the way it is now. It's a 35-mile-an-hour speed. There's no sidewalks, there's no shoulders, there's no lines on it, and cars, since you put the light in at Bucklew and Hoffman Station, are speeding down that street in the middle of the road trying to avoid the traffic light. Last week, I got passed illegally by someone on a curve who then sped up and passed a second car. And so I'm just asking for the road to be evaluated.
Council President, I will say, we'll certainly look at that street for next year and review it. The way the process goes, it's, my office produces a list of streets based on conditions. The police department provides a list of roads that they've seen that require paving, as well as our Public Works Department puts a list. In our three departments, we will rate the streets. We will go out and look at the conditions of all those roads on those lists and put together a paving list for that year. There are roads that need paving. We can't pave all the roads in 1 year. There was about, I believe 14 roads that we paved this year. Some were quite long. But we will look at that, and typically it's around February we start looking at the streets and comparing our lists, and we'll certainly look at Hoffman Road. Offhand, I believe it was looked at last year, but I don't know that for sure. But I'm putting you on my list right now, so we will certainly look at that and review it. I can't tell you it will be paved next year, because I don't know all the roads that are going to be on those lists to review, but we're certainly going to look at it.
There aren't even lines on the road. There haven't been lines on the road in years. I mean, fundamentally, the road, the way it is not safe. I won't even walk my dog on there anymore. I get in my car and I drive to where there are sidewalks to walk them. That's how unsafe I feel.
We'll do what he said, and he will look at it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Bob Valentine, 68 Union Valley Road. Just wanted to finish the conversation we had earlier a little bit. Just two questions. One was, in addition to the monitoring how much debt we have outstanding, are there any other financial covenants that the town needs to keep to under these bond issues that are going out, or ones that we already have? And the second part is, were you required to get any kind of stub audit or agreed upon procedures report done in connection with this project? And if so, maybe just a brief summary of the findings or comments on that.
Council President, sorry,
Yes.
would you mind repeating the second?
I didn't understand the first.
Oh, sure. For financial covenants, in other words, sometimes in order to get bonds issued, you're required to meet certain financial covenants, debt coverage ratios, working capital ratios, how much debt's outstanding at any point in time.
I think the
permission
only
to do
bond
other
covenant
borrowings.
is that we
Yeah,
pay it
bond
back,
covenants, right, right. That's what I'm talking about. I know there are any, so I was just curious if there were.
I don't think there are typically those don't exist in municipal bonds.
No. Currently, they're going to issue the bonds under statutes that just require secondary market disclosure with respect to the future 20 years of filing the financial data with Emma, which is the national
What is Emma?
repository.
Clearinghouse. Yeah.
Electronic, municipal, something.
It is a government
I
website.
never get an acronym.
It's a
right.
government website in which we all require we file our disclosures every year. So if you wanted to buy municipal bonds, you could go and look at all of the disclosure for instance, Monroe's bonds.
But as general counsel just says, with this type of bond, you may get those covenants with a revenue bond at an authority where there's debt service reserves, etc. But these will be general obligation bonds, subject to no other reserve terms or anything other than what's in the local bond law, which goes along with the ordinance to buy the road you bought tonight,
Right.
or you're going to buy. Same difference.
Right. And did you have to issue any reports in connection with this project? Any kind of agreed upon procedures? I don't know, is there any requirement for an audit type of stub audits or?
No.
No, not on the financial side. On the power side, under the local public contracts law, with the audit of the numbers and the cash flow, yes.
Yeah.
But there's no separate financial reporting other than the annual audit, which has to be filed accordingly.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're the reason I didn't leave too.
Anybody else wishing
You
to
should grab
address?
me because I stepped outside.
Anyone else wishing to address us? Come forward now, please.
And for the record, Emma is not the name of the board. It's MSRB, and they call it Emma because they do. Because it's MSRB.
Mr. Gunkelman.
George Gunkelman, Monroe. I'd like to request that the town, the mayor and council, consider requesting of our state elected assemblyman and senator to support the Immigrant Trust Act. The Immigrant Trust Act, it's the best to look it up because I'm not going to try and read the whole thing here. There's no point. But basically, it's an extension of the policy that was, I think, called the Immigrant Trust Policy, which dealt with how local police and officials would interact with ICE, for example, or now as we see other federal agencies coming into town. So it's an act that's in Trenton for consideration now. I would just request to look at it and see if the town thinks it's the kind of thing we would want to support or have our elected officials support, just like there was another resolution to get support for another act. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward now. Your name and address again for our records.
Good evening again, Chrissy Skirby, 21 Preakness Drive. I'm glad to hear as a baseball parent that the renovations are going to be starting again. It was a very long, hot summer without bathrooms or running water at James Monroe Park. I wish that we would have known sooner that or addressed it. There hasn't been movement in months. I do want to say thank you to Councilman DePiero. I had reached out to him one day after a very long, hot day of baseball, and the fumes coming out of the porta potties was absolutely disgusting, not even usable. And the next day when we got there, those porta potties were emptied and cleaned, and I just want to say thank you to Councilman DePiero. I am here tonight to address a situation you may or may not know about. Our township resident, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Shari Chanley, was put on administrative leave 121 days ago with full pay and benefits, not because of any misconduct, but because a Monroe Township employee who sits on the Board of Education, Pete Pirro, his feelings were hurt when she pointed out a conflict that he had in voting for her. That's right, our children in our schools are suffering because one person on our Board of Education got offended. A person who Councilwoman Siegel testified in court under oath she supported for election last year. Meanwhile, our taxpayers are bleeding money on legal games and power plays. This isn't about students. It isn't about education. It isn't about what's best for Monroe. It's about egos and vendettas. And the result is wasted tax dollars in a year when the school taxes increased the most in 1 year ever in Monroe. Chaos in our school district and the absence of a leader who has already proven she can guide our district. Our children deserve stability, our teachers deserve leadership, and our taxpayers deserve better than this circus. While the council doesn't control the Board of Education, the council should not remain silent. Call it what it is, an abuse of power and a reckless waste of money. Demand that our Board of Education stop playing politics and reinstate Dr. Chanley and put Monroe first. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward now. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public comment section.
Motion.
May I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion.
Second on that.
Second.
We are adjourned at what time?
8:52.
Thank you.